Hello, it's Mr. Perez from Central Coast Kenpo Karate, and we're going to be covering the second half of long form 2 with the category completions along with relationships with other forms, opposites and reverses, and including little details that can help a beginner with long form 2. I am going at a slower pace with this form due to helping beginner students understand the concept of the form, along with advanced students finding new ideas about the form and going more in depth so they can start to think how this form affects future forms along with the progressions from the past forms. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for liking and subscribing to the channel and commenting. We look forward to creating more content for you. As we move on to the next part of our form, we're going to be executing a front crossover going towards 12:31 o'clock along with a left overhead punch. While this punch is coming down vertically, we are striking the attacker in this form before we execute a block. We are also learning how to use the inside edge of our foot as an attempted sweep kick along with the overhead punch, which is our third kick in this form. We have used the outside edge, the ball, and now working the inside edge. Category completion of working edge, ball, and inside edge will start to follow with the upcoming forms. Going back to the overhead hanging punch, we are also been taught how to strike before we block in a previous form, long form 1. If you look at the left elbow being executed prior to the upward block, we are executing a horizontal strike versus a vertical strike. We are also being taught to utilize a front crossover for the first time in the form, with the help of closing our stance, creating a short range stance along with gravity as our power principle. As we continue to use our offense, coming in with the punch, follow with an uppercut, upward block strike combination, using the upper block as an offensive weapon versus just defensive. The relationship you can see between long 2 and short 3 in this portion of the form is that one is coming overhead on a vertical plane and the other one is lifting up on a vertical plane. So as you can see, we start to put these two together and we create destructive twins. That's in short form 3. As we now start to execute our vertical finger pokes, we start to then move into the relationship of completing the category of 3 linear strikes versus 3 circular strikes that we did earlier in this form with our 3 back fists. With the finger pokes, you can apply the concept of threading along with the relationship of using these finger pokes in our upcoming forms. Also, while you're going to the 12:31 o'clock sequence of the 45-degree angles, you then start to move into the opposite corner, which is 10:30-11. That is the same ending sequence of short form 2. These corner strikes are teaching the student how to engage forward with the front crossover strikes versus just pivoting into the cat stance. Students are learning here how to use a front crossover to close the distance while striking with the backhand, then following up with your front hand. We start to now see how long form 1 gave us previews to long form 2 with the inside palm up block along with rotation. So in this case, we're now retreating with our crossover and unwinding, creating rotation with our short range weapon. We are also working from the top of the circle down, very similar to like a hammering motion that continues its passive action. This teaches us how to use our rear arm as a block, following up with our front hand strike. Now in the next part, as we change direction, we start to then work our way from the bottom of the circle to the top of the circle, which is using our inside palm down block, then executing a vertical back knuckle. Some can debate that this could be same arm, opposite direction due to a circular motion following into a linear motion. What's different about this part is we are stepping away from the attacker, creating distance using our neutral bow, going into a 45-degree angle, blocking with our front arm. This form teaches the student here how to use the rear arm as a block versus using the front arm as a block with different stance changes. Now, as we execute our left push down block with our twist stance, and I know that some Kenpoists do this with a forward bow, then rotate. We do it as a twist. We have our reasons for it. What we are learning here is twisting while advancing forward with our stance instead of retreating into our twist stance and unwinding from that position. As we unwind out, we execute a elbow along with a left overhead palm claw. We do this 3 times, working here rotation, depth, and height, which is all 3 power principles, along with using a linear strike with the elbow into a circular strike. Now, some will elongate the circle and make the elbow strike continue its passive action with the palm claw. From here, we're going to execute a right horizontal punch into a left forward bow, then reversing the motion going into a left neutral bow. This is a resemblance of long form 1 from the last downward block and punch going into your triple inward blocks. It also shows how you can go from offense to defense. We then step back to execute a new elbow, which is our inward overhead elbows that give us the gravitational marriage while retreating and utilizing the upper body rotation. We'd also start to incorporate new elbows into our form that gives us preview attractions to the next form. We are also being introduced to sandwiching in this ending concept, along with working the horizontal and vertical lines with forward and reverse motion, utilizing the plus symbol. Hello everyone, good to see you. It's Mr. Perez from the Central Coast Kenpo Karate, and thank you again for watching all the video content we've been posting and commenting and putting up feedback, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. We love the feedback and I enjoy listening to what you guys have to say, regardless if it's negative or positive. One of the best things I enjoy about what we do is we can always find something to improve and get better with. The reason why I've been just sharing the content is because I love this art and I enjoy it, and I know it continues to evolve, and one thing we can always do is come together and make this art better. So with long form 2, like I said, so much concepts, principles, and there's just a lot of knowledge in this form that I can't cover obviously in one video. Okay. Right? If I try covering everything, it might be like a 2-hour video, right? So obviously that, like representing the techniques in the video, like 5 swords, right? Or you got shield and mace, right? Intrigued me was the category completions and the resemblance between short 1 and all the forms up to black belt level. And it makes me appreciate the forms even more. You know, I've been doing martial arts for a long time. Question we always, how can we make the art better? How can we become a better martial artist? And how can we take Kenpo and evolve it to where it becomes more practical now than what it was 10 years ago or 20 years ago, right? But how can we still take the Kenpo that was made back then and still use those concepts to better the system? And that's the thing that I appreciate with forms, is that it gives us so much knowledge on motion, and it gives us knowledge on concepts and principles on how we can utilize those things in a real street situation, how they affect our techniques, how they affect, you know, our timing, things like that. So that's something I've been very fortunately lately been exposed to more and more often. You know, currently right now under Mr. Graham Lilly, it's a great martial artist, great instructor, and real knowledgeable when it comes to understanding, you know, forms and concepts of Kenpo and the motion of Kenpo. And that's something I do appreciate. You know, there were certain things that I was missing in my forms before I met him, and it's nice to be able to evolve and continue to evolve. So I stay here humble that, you know, I will take feedback, and I appreciate the feedback I get from the Kenpo community. And if it's negative, it doesn't have no effect on my life. You know, if it's negative, I just kind of like brush it off, doesn't affect me, and I keep going forward because I know that there's going to be positive and negative people out there, right? There'll always be a way to find something that's even better, right? There should always be evolving, right? And that's something I do appreciate with the group I'm part of right now. We're constantly trying to find better ways to improve our technique, improve our methods in Kenpo, and be able to adapt in all scenarios, right? And so that's something that it should be like, right? But when someone comes across saying that their way is the best and that's it, then it's, you know, they stop learning, right? And so with that, I kind of just turn those people off. I kind of shut them off, and I continue to listen to the ones that share, that are humble, that are willing to, you know, improve themselves and even put themselves out there so others can see them perform, whether it's on video, competing, or just, you know, giving some sort of example on what they're trying to, you know, get the point across, right? So thank you again for all the feedback, guys. I appreciate it. You guys have been awesome. Keep up the good work. Continue to support the channel. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe right now. Hit the like button. Leave a comment down below. Share the video with others. See what others have to say about the video. We would appreciate it. Okay. Thank you again. Have a great day. Keep up the Kenpo training. Keep up the karate training. Whatever martial arts training you do, continue it. Move forward and continue to hit those goals.
Click on the bell and subscribe to the YouTube channel.